What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast, the first of 2024, where you're here to listen to us talk about video games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
The first Bongiorno.
The first Bongiorno
of
2024.
Feels good.
And it does feel good. And in fact, it even feels good. I don't know if the video viewers are paying extra attention today, but the studio has moved once again. And, you know,
you can really
not that you can really tell.
Based on
Everything
the
is honestly like the background is just a little less cluttered than it was in the
I was
room.
thinking because the wall color is actually the same.
Same wall
the wall
color,
color is
yep.
exactly the same. So I was thinking if anyone noticed at all, what they would notice is the lack of Jarrett's figures around the entertainment
the perimeter
center.
and stuff
They'd
like
be
that.
like, "Wow, Jarrett's finally put Star Wars behind
Never,
him."
never. They're just in little bins on top of the entertainment
They're
center.
ready to be redeployed.
Because we literally Sam and I literally just did this switch over the weekend, and it's a Monday now. So yeah, it's still a little in flux, making sure we love it before we fully commit. But so far, I'm liking it.
I like
feels
it too.
good.
It does feel good.
It feels good, and it feels kind of like a new, fresh energy to bring to the
and
show.
I feel like this is going to be good for when we record in the evenings when it's summertime and there's actually sun out.
And
right
that
now.
window's not
because
like-
the window's not at the wrong side
Yes,
now.
yes, and the sun is not going to be blaring through,
Yes.
making the room 150 degrees. Because
that's gonna be
God,
nice.
it gets hot sometimes. You think I wear black because I like the color? I do, but that's beside the point. And it's
because
mostly
he's
to hide
sweating.
sweat.
Well, we both sweat a lot, but
Oh
yeah.
man, in those rooms we sure do. But
That's why I wear my sweaters all the time because it's like the sweat can't
see
get
that
through
just
here.
no. Oh God, how blessed you are.
Hashtag blessed.
Granted, it was our wedding day, and like I was dancing, having a good time. It was middle of December when Sam and I got married. It was 40 degrees outside. Inside, though, we're getting dancing during all that stuff. I'm in a suit, vest, shirt. I sweat through my suit jacket.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's an issue.
That's quite fantastic. It just proves that you're incredible at regulating your body temperature.
But that's neither here nor there. What a random tangent to take off our first episode of 2024 on.
We figured we'd start it off weird.
Yeah, why not? New year, new weird us, I guess,
boy.
But we have a great episode going for you here today, where we're going to be talking about our most anticipated games of 2024, the ones we are looking forward to the most and the ones we hope we love the most. But before we jump into that, you're listening to the show, you're like, where can I find it? Well, you can find it on podcast services around the World Wide Webs. And then you can also watch a video version of on our YouTube channel. Links for all that are in the description below. You can also find us on social media at Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and you can join our Discord server where we have a lot of great conversation when we're not here recording the show. So check that out. It's a lot of fun. Also, if you'd like to help support the show and make it bigger and better, because you're like, God damn, they made it to episode 306. Let's see how many more they can do. Head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and help make it grow bigger and better. Just like Ark, Super Saiyan Ace, Erica L, Elise F, Zach S, Susan M, James K, Michael B, Andrew M, Michael S, and Brandon W have done. In return for that monetary amount, we give you cool perks like in the episodes early before their general Thursday release and access to a private channel on our Discord server, the Rogues Gallery, as well as a lot of extra goodies along the way.
And more importantly, it just keeps the fucking lights on.
That is true. It does.
We've
does
got
do
web
that too.
hosting fees, guys.
The extra added benefit, you still keep getting this show every week. But if you can't do that, that's no big deal at all. We totally understand. And there are a lot of great free ways you can support the show, such as telling your friends, writing us reviews, subscribing wherever you listen to or watch the show. All that good stuff
I'll
helps.
also accept nude pics to 555.
Wow.
I just figured we'd spice things up.
Watch them start pouring in. I guess that's what the
Yeah,
Discord's
all
for
right.
now. But
We'll just have a not safe for work channel. Nude pics here, please.
alrighty. Well, before we jump into the main topic of the day, let's hear a little bit of news and what's coming out soon in our Moment with Mogan.
More coming out mid-February than you would think. Momodora, Moonlit Farewell, is coming out for PC on this episode's air date, January 11th. Then we've got Crystal Story, Dawn of Dusk, also for PC on the 12th. Legend of Grimrock for the Switch on the 15th. Art of Rally for iOS, January 18th. Bulletstorm VR, the rare VR entry for
Nice.
PlayStation VR 2, Quest, and PC, January 18th. And then the rest of Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown Is that the 2D side
Yeah,
scroll?
it's the new one.
That one actually looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
That's coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 18th. A little indie game that I'm actually really happy to see come out of fucking nowhere and get a sequel. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank.
Yeah. We were talking about that in the
sequel to
Discord.
Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I played that game on mobile and actually loved it, even with the touchscreen controls. But this is not the mobile version. The game is actually a real game. So Turnip Boy Robs a Bank comes out for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Fascinatingly, not for PlayStation.
That is odd.
Weird, right?
Also, it's very funny when you just said Xbox Series X and S. It's how quickly you like ran it together. Sounds like Kenneth on 30 Rock when he's wanting to go to the Beijing Olympics, and he says, "I would like to go to the Xfinity X Olympics in Beijing this summer." Because he doesn't know how to pronounce the Roman numerals.
Oh yeah, I'll start trying to work that into my regular spiel. And that gets us through the 18th, which I think is the end of next week, right?
Yes, I believe
that
so.
That should be good enough.
Yep.
So of those, honestly, most excited about Turnip Boy Robs a Bank.
I mean, the Prince of Persia looks pretty fun too.
It does.
I
That
don't
game
know
looks
if
pretty
that's
sick, actually.
I don't know because of stuff coming out later in the month. I don't know if that's going to be a day one purchase for me for sure. But I would really like to play it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a pretty fun action platformer, 2D platformer. And
I've
stuff like
got two other games that I am trying to fully knock out before the big bad comes out at the end of the month. Tekken 8, for those of you that don't know. But I'm still trying to finish, and I'm very close to finishing Dredge for the PS4.
Nice.
I'm at the stage where I could technically go straight into the end game and finish it, but this is a game that I actually think, Jared, I know I've said it before.
Oh my God, are you going to...
But I think I can platinum it.
Oh my God!
I've still got quite a few trophies that I need to go around and get, but none of them seem undoable, like impossible. So I feel like I can probably do it. So I'm going to try to at least finish, maybe platinum Dredge. And then recently I did finish all 8 main story paths from 2 Octo 2 Path, otherwise known as Octopus Graveler 2, otherwise known as Octopath Traveler 2.
Oh man, well that's good.
Yes.
So it's not 100% though, but you did,
No.
but like story, okay, but like one could consider that the main story then complete.
You could.
One
You know
could
what?
then say you finished it.
You kind of. You could say that. What I think is interesting is when you beat the game with your first main character, the one that you pick and that is a staple in your party until you beat their main quest. When you do that, the game gives you like a congratulatory message like, good job, you did it. Congratulations, you done it. And which is awesome. But it doesn't do that when you finish all 8. Instead, it's just like, all right, have back out there, champ, because there's all this other shit that you still have to do. Like I'm at the point where I'm finishing all of the co-op side quests where 2 characters go around and they have like a story-driven side quest. I've not even really finished them because based on Throne and Temenos' end of their part 2, there's more. So it's like, oh fuck, how many chapters are there going to be? I don't know, but I'm trying very hard to blast through it and knock all of those out and get to the practically guaranteed super secret final boss of the game and wipe the floor with their ass. I feel like I can do it.
Nice. I'm rooting for you.
My
I think you can, too.
octopathing is top tier. I know how to build the most broken ass teams alive. So all you need is Partitio. Oh, that's a spoiler. I shouldn't say anything.
Okay.
All you need is Partitio. That's all you need to know.
You can figure out the
Yeah,
rest
you
of the
can
secret
figure
sauce.
out the rest probably.
Let's see. What have I been doing over our holiday break? I did manage after we recorded our last episode. I did finish to complete Assassin's Creed Mirage and get the platinum.
Oh my god!
Because it was like I finished it and I was like, oh yeah, the rest of these that are left are like, do X amount of this kind of assassination. Finish exploring all the areas that I'd already pretty much explored through playing the game already. So I was like, you know what? This is quick and easy. I can knock this out.
How many final hours did you wind up putting into it?
Good question. Let me check the app real quick. I want to say more than I anticipated I would, just because I knew that this was a short one.
I'm going to guess 74.
Ooh, definitely not that high.
Ooh, I'm going to guess, wait, everybody shut up. I didn't say that first number. 53. It's got to be 53, guys. I have a good feeling about this.
Damn it. It's not going to show me on the app because it's not one of my recently played.
Oh, come on.
It was like 45.
Oh, so a pretty short Assassin's Creed game
Yeah,
then.
it was under
platinum
it was under 50.
Man, honestly, that is such a selling point. Like, based on what
Yeah.
you've said about it in your original review, if your first impressions, it already sounded like, of all the Assassin's Creed games, one that I might actually like.
It's back to the stealth stuff of the original.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like you might.
Having
It's a greater priority. I don't know if it's going to be as stealth as like what you really like, but I think it would be enough to like get you to try and like it.
Well, keep in mind, you know how when we play Hitman,
Yes.
which is a high stealth game, you know how I often don't do the stealth
Yep,
part?
yep.
Kind of the same.
I just also know you're kind of into those like Pikmin no death runs, you know,
Oh,
like
that's
that.
true,
So like
yeah.
you might be in, but although I guess that completely goes against the Assassin's Creed game, you're going to have to stab some people every once in a while.
I don't know
But
about
I don't
that.
know. And then I finished that, and I was just like, okay, what else do I want to play? I think by that point too, the God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC had come out, which I've been playing that. It's very fun.
That's like the sort of gauntlet boss run.
Yeah,
style
it's
thing,
like the
right?
roguelite, the Hades-esque, Returnal-esque game mode and stuff like that. It's actually very fun. They didn't just be like, here's this thing, run some levels and just see how far you can make it. It actually has like a pretty solid story.
Oh, okay.
And everything, because it's kind of like how they set it up is that Valhalla tests you based on your memories and like your past decisions and things that you've made, and so then you'll be confronted with that in the trials of Valhalla. So you're talking about Kratos here and everything like that. So he's got a lot to atone for. So it brings some pretty great story moments in.
Does it
and it's
even
pretty
bring
good.
callbacks from the old games? The pre-Ragnarok games?
Maybe. I don't want to be too spoilery,
interesting.
but there could be a chance.
Do you have
of
to
that.
fight his wife?
I don't know.
Oh my god, I nailed it. You totally do.
I don't know.
Unconfirmed,
I
but
don't know. I
based
haven't
on
beat it yet,
Jared's,
but I'm doing pretty good.
based on the terror in Jarrett's eyes, I feel like I got it.
But it's been very fun. I feel like it's it builds really well with the God of War gameplay style, or the current God of War gameplay style, and just throws in, you have all these chests to open and get extra glyphs and buffs and and everything like that. It's been a pretty good time. I think I'm probably pretty close to finishing it, because it doesn't seem like it's as many times as it takes you to complete it, but I have actually completed runs as opposed to like games like Hades, where I've tried like 70 times and still haven't. So
You've gotten so close.
I know.
Though.
I
have
really
seen
should
you
pick.
get
I
there.
really should pick Hades back up and try it again.
Jared,
It's
I think you can
I think
do
I need
it.
to start a brand new file too,
Probably.
and like restart fresh from the
Yep.
ground up, and then try to go from there. But so I'm still messing with that. Alongside of that, I got hooked into the hype because of the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, so I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh God. What a choice.
It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
I thought you were going to talk about the finals, and here you are with Grand Theft Auto.
I have been playing the finals too. But I decided I wanted to get that one to try, because I knew I played it a long time ago. I checked. According to my save, it was like 2017, 2016.
The last time you
since
played?
the last time I played.
Oh my God, that
So,
game's been around since before 2017.
2013. It's a 10-year-old game.
Oh my God.
Over a 10-year-old game. So,
Lord.
but surprisingly, holds up great. Like, it plays really well. And the load times are way fucking faster on the PS5, so
Oh,
that's
I'm sure
a
they
big
are,
plus too.
yeah.
My God, that was the turn off for me with that game. Want to start it up on the old PS4? Wait 15 minutes for it to load. Legitimately, like it would take so long to load.
God. That's how Tekken 8 feels. Excuse me, that's how Tekken 7 feels on the PS4. It is so slow.
Man, I didn't actually realize I was playing so much stuff, because I've been playing the finals still too. What else did I dabble in? Oh, because after Mirage, and I was like, I want to play something, I'm not sure what. I want something quick, short, and sweet. You know what I finally played? Checked off the old gaming bucket list.
Chess for Windows XP.
God, I thought you were going to say it, because just how you start the
Oh wait, hang on. That's
word.
a hint then. It starts with a ch.
Yeah, or like close to that.
Chernobyl's.
Oh my God, you got so close again.
Cheer.
It's a classic. It's short. It's so short, and it's one that's
so
regarded as a
short.
classic. We love the music.
Oh no. Give me a console hint.
PS3, I think original was when it originally came out.
Ch- ch- Jack and Daxter.
Got closer. No, I finally played Journey.
Oh God! Wow.
And that was,
Oh,
I beat it in
man.
like an hour and a half. It was so quick.
Oh yeah, it's so quick.
I was like slapping myself because I was like, really?
But how was the music though?
Oh, so good.
Pretty emotional.
The whole thing
right?
was so great.
Yeah.
And just such a beautiful, well done game.
Incredible.
It was great. So I was glad to like finally knock that one off the
I
old bucket
never
list.
would have gotten to Jur based on Chur.
But but like when you first started saying
I
it, you were
totally
like,
get it.
sure. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to say it right
No.
off the bat. Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
I think if I had had enough time to think about it, I maybe could have gotten there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think I would have been thinking that far back.
Yeah.
I was either thinking early to mid 90s based on the words classic.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know.
Well, hell, the PS3 at this point pretty much is.
It's scary to think about.
Have the Gen Z even used a PS3? They even know what it is?
Oh, tell the people about your niece and nephew or your
Oh, yeah.
playing like whatever.
So we had family come over for Christmas and everything, and my niece and nephew wanted to play. I think they thought it was the Switch at first, but my nephew was like, "You have Mario Kart? Can we play that?" And I was like, "Sure," but he was pointing to it on the N64.
Oh, classic Mario.
And then I
Kart.
said, "Yeah, but this also has a Smash Brothers," and he got like wide-eyed. He's like, "Can we play that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, we can play it." But then I plugged it in. They started playing it, and my niece was like, "Why does this look so weird?" And I said, "Because this is what the graphics looked like when this came out." And she's like, "Yeah, but it looks weird. I kind of like it," which made me feel better. She was like, "I kind of like it, but it just kind of looks different than what I was expecting." It's like, no, yeah, this is what video games looked like when I was a little kid. And then she was like, she's 12, I think, and so she was like, "Oh, how old were you when this came out?" And I said 6, and she said, "How old are you now?" And I said 33. And she goes, wide-eyed, just like stares at me like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "I don't appreciate this. You
Oh my
better
God.
stop." But it was
You
pretty
better
fun.
knock it off.
Introducing them to the games of yore.
the games of yore. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
So anyway, it's been a great time playing a lot of good games over the break, but man, it does feel good to be back here behind the
played a
mics.
lot of shit.
I did, and there's one more that I haven't talked about yet that I'll talk about in a little bit.
Oh my God.
So, but with all that, let's talk about the games that we are most excited about for 2024.
Yes, indeed.
I went through and I was looking on the interwebs to see a list of like all the confirmed stuff, or at least slated for this year. Because this is a big thing with this. I know there have been episodes in the past when we've done this. Every single game we talk about comes out later, gets delayed. It doesn't even come out in 2024. So I try to be a little smart, hedge my bets with that, and allow for this. But I actually had 13 that I was like interested in.
13 games.
Now,
Holy
again,
crap.
we're running it down to our most anticipated, so like
Right.
top 3. But still, I was like, oh, interesting. Because, you completely forgot in the moment with Mogan to mention another little indie game that's coming out on January 19th.
Well, we hadn't got to the 19th
I
yet.
know,
I
just
cut
kidding.
it off at the 18th.
I had to say it, though. But it's, the Tlu 2 remaster.
The Tlu.
The Last of Us Part 2 remaster for PS5.
For God's sake.
But that is not on my list.
Minus 10 points.
That is not on my list. I'm just excited about it because it also is going to have a roguelike mode similar to Valhalla and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see what that is going to be. I actually think there's a good chance we might have crossover.
Ooh, okay. You want to start then?
Let's start with number 3.
Okay.
Our number 3s for this year for most anticipated games of 2024. My number 3 is Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden.
Mine, I didn't number mine,
Yeah.
but yes, Banishers,
Also
Ghosts
on
of
the
New-
list, right?
Yes, also on the list. And actually, I was looking at one of the release date lists. It said it's coming out in February. Is that right?
Yeah, February 13th.
Oh my God,
It's close.
that's coming out so
Yeah,
soon.
I know, which worries me.
Yeah, it
Because,
honestly makes me a
there's
little
a lot
nervous.
of good games at the beginning. Not that I worry that it's going to be bad. There's just already a lot of stuff at the beginning of the year that I want to play.
See, I
and
feel
I'm like, oh no, it's going to be hard.
I feel like February games are low key always bangers because
Horizon.
best game ever that came out in February. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Best game of 2024,
Game of the year,
2023. Anyways, yes, Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. What a mouthful.
Yeah.
But as a reminder for anybody that has seen the trailers and you're like, what the fuck is this game about? First of all, it's from the Don't Nod studio.
which I'm sold already.
We're already sold on that. And then I actually was like, when I think about those trailers, I don't know what the fuck this game is about. I just know it looks cool. So I
Yeah.
actually looked up a synopsis.
Okay, sweet.
So for anybody that's wondering, it's the Life is Strange developer Don't Nod once again flirting with the unknown in its 17th century ghost romance. That part is what I'm like, hell yes.
I picked up on that a
Ghost-mance?
little bit from the most recent trailer that was released for it.
Ghost Romance Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. The action role-playing game tasks you, a sort of a human sage or banisher, with lifting an evil curse and finding a way to reconnect with your true love's spirit. They had me at Ghost Romance. I didn't need the rest of that. But for anybody wondering, it is an action role-playing game, which again just reminds me of the vampires of the world.
That's honestly
And
what I'm excited about,
yes.
because like I feel like it's going to be Vampire. We've talked about. Fantastic game. Came out of left field because, we were expecting something more similar, I think, to Life is Strange because it was Don't Nod. And then
we had
were
zero
both,
expectations.
Yeah,
They were
zero
on the
expectations,
floor.
and they just got blown away.
Yeah, we loved
and
it.
we loved Vampire. So that alone, and knowing that this game is going to embrace that side of Don't Nod's catalog of games, makes me very excited.
Jarrett, I'm going to make a bold statement.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
I think you and I are Vampire's biggest stands.
I agree. I hear no one else talk about it. I
think we're
and
the
I've got my
only
pulse,
people.
my finger on the pulse.
Just like the vampires do.
Exactly.
We are the only people out here in 2024 still like, Vampire
Still
was a
championing
great
it.
game.
The soundtrack was so good for it,
was
too. The
so
setting,
good. It
everything
was just a
about
fun,
that
good
was so
game. And
great.
I'm really I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high for Banishers because
Yeah.
I feel like it does have so much potential. But yeah, I can't believe that it's coming out next month. I mean, it's basically a month away, more or less. And it is going to be for PlayStation 5? Yeah. Thank God.
the current gen stuff.
I'll have
I don't
one
know
by
about
then.
Switch, I will say.
Yeah, probably
but yeah, we're coming out for the major stuff.
Yeah.
And let's
Very
see.
hyped for that game.
I watched the trailer again for it, the most recent trailer, and yeah, it just looks great. I'm very curious to because it kind of seems like you're the Banisher.
Yes.
Is I'm gonna say potentially like a Highlander-esque character, due to his garb. Like it looks like he's wearing like a modified kilt or tartan and stuff like that.
I'll call him Tony.
Tony, yeah. So hopefully I'm not totally off on that, but I'm curious to see what the actual setting of it will be. I know 17th century.
Based
from
on the trailers, it all looked very misty and gothic, which
Yeah.
already had me
Sold.
yes, give me
Yes.
that dark atmosphere. I don't care about sunshine.
which I also think it's interesting that they went with this. A new IP as opposed to trying to do a Vampire 2 or something like that. And maybe that's coming down the line
Vampire
later
2
on.
is never going to happen.
But yeah, probably not because they did go with a whole new IP rather than an established franchise. But man, it's got me excited. It's got me excited enough that I was watching the stuff again. I was like, oh no, yeah,
yeah.
because I was kind of waffling on it. Is this going to be in my top 3? But then we watched the trailer and was like, oh, for sure, this looks
I
fun.
think it is, and I'm not sure that it's going to be a day one purchase for me, but I'm probably going to get it shortly after release.
Yeah, I think, and I think from what's another one of your anticipated?
It's
games?
the obvious one that comes out at the end of this month, so it feels like cheating to even put it on the list.
I
But
know.
it's Tekken 8.
Same with me.
It's gotta
on,
be.
my
it's
number
gotta
2
be
is Tekken 8.
Tekken 8 comes out on January 26th.
Yes.
I want to say, yeah, Jan 26. I am holding out hope for a Tekken 8 PS5 bundle so that I can save myself having to buy the game separately. So I'm waiting to see if that happens. But I'm gonna get a PS5 and Tekken 8 regardless because you have to.
Yeah.
It's the fighting game event of the year.
It is. It is.
And I don't know if maybe this is just me because I see the fighting game world through Tekken colored glasses, but I feel like the hype around Tekken 8 is so much more palpable than it was for Street Fighter 6, for example.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
Well, I feel like because Tekken 8 has had a really great marketing strategy where they're releasing the individual
that drip
trailers
feed, yeah.
of the fighters that are going to be in the game.
and all the new
a
fighters
whole-
are fucking crazy.
Yeah, they really are. But it's just a video per fighter. And so it's or at least maybe the fan favorites. I don't know if they're going to literally go through the whole roster.
I don't think
but
they
it's-
have or will, but they did introduce most recently, or maybe not most recently, but Yoshimitsu, fan favorite,
Yes.
Bro Mogan's favorite, did finally get an official release trailer, and his new design looks fucking crazy,
Yeah.
which is all the Yoshimitsu stands care about.
Which we've been talking about our excitement for Tekken 8 for a while now.
Yes.
I know you, as a longtime stan of
Yep.
the Tekken series,
One
are
of our
very excited
our
for it.
family's first ever video game.
Oh, nice.
Tekken 2 for the PlayStation 1.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
A long history with it. That's
We've
great.
been there since the beginning.
And I have been one of my resolutions for the new year was to kind of I feel like for the last couple of years, in like a lot of areas, I've stayed very much in the things that I know, and I'm trying to break out of that a little bit and play a little bit and do more variety, not only in just like in games and stuff like that, but in other areas as well. I actually finished a book for the first time in a long time. Yeah, I know. It took me 3 years to read the book. Oh my God. It was a thick one. But still.
Was it the Lord of the Rings combined collection?
No, it was a collection of short stories based around The Empire Strikes Back. It was fantastic.
Oh my God, you're such a nerd.
But it took me so long to read it. Anyway, but again, like I read a book, I read a Star Wars one. I need to read something else. So, it's like doing more things like that. And fighting game, I've dabbled in, but never really committed to learning one and like getting really good at it. I'm wanting Tekken to be that. To that end, I got Mortal Kombat 1 for Christmas. So I've been playing that.
Okay,
I know
to
they're not
warm
the
up.
same,
Yep.
but like been playing around with that and it's been scratching a good itch.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that translates between fighting games, like just your general game sense, like actually looking at the opponent and what are they doing and how are you going to react. I've never been any good at that. I've never been good at Tekken. I'll just say it. I've never been good. But does that stop me from having fun? No,
Yeah.
I'm still having fun. And I can't wait for Tekken 8 to eventually get Tekken Ball mode. We know it's coming.
That'll be so great. I'm excited to
Tekken
play
Ball
that too
mode.
because you've talked so much about that from the previous
Classic
versions.
times.
But I'm just excited to get into it, really learn it. With Mortal Kombat, I've been playing it, and just the other night I was playing online and got into a good roll and like won 3 matches in a row versus opponents, and I was like, oh hell yeah!
Who's your Mortal Kombat what do they call it? Main. There we go.
I've been sticking with Baraka. He's
don't know
been
anything
he's
about
been really
Mortal
good. Super
Kombat.
fast attacks, long combos, but you have to like pretty much keep up the chain because his defense and like breakout stuff is not great. And so it's he's been a lot of fun to get to learn. And
he is hideous.
he is hideous. But I normally go with Kano. But Kano is actually could do in that cameo system that Mortal Kombat 1 has, where it's basically like you have a backup fighter in each match.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. This guy looks like a tool.
He is kind of a tool. But Kano's only available in those, so I can't be as a cameo fighter, so I can't be Kano. So I was like, okay, well, I got to find somebody else. And I was playing around with Baraka. Also, Melina was really good, too. But I'm excited the most for the DLC character of Homelander from The Boys TV show.
Because Jensen Ackles is hot?
Yeah. And then Omni-Man from Invincible are also
the
DLC.
Think guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are also DLC characters. I'm like,
Cool.
oh, fuck yeah. That'd
That's
be
neat.
awesome. So, pretty excited about that. But all that to say, Team Chat Fight Club starting January 26th
Well,
when
there's going to
Tekken
be a
8
new
comes out.
channel for it in the
Yeah.
Discord.
We're getting ready.
I need other low-level players to come fight me because
Well, that's me. I'm a low-level player.
Okay, yeah, we can be the same. We can all be bad together before Bro Mogan, Snooty Boots, and Waves, and probably Beeves, Michael as before they all have a chance to get really good at it.
Yeah.
We got to get
We
in
got to have
early.
our early beginner's luck.
Get our trophies done
Yep,
while we
yep.
still can, and then just pray to God that we can eventually get one combo off.
That's my thing. I can barely get fatalities to work in Mortal Kombat 1. That's my biggest problem with these games, with fighting games in general, is getting the timing right on the input
Yes. Oh
to
my
get
God.
combos and stuff. I feel I'm fighting
never
my
been
button
good at
masher ways so hard on this game.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like is really good too. Train me out of some of that, get me into something new.
You
So
and
I'm
me
pretty
can
excited
get
for Tekken
online
8.
together and actually sit there and practice and be
Yes.
like, okay,
Be
teamwork
nice to
makes
each other.
the dream work.
We'll do a combo and be like, "Oh, that was a cool combo.
Nice
How did you
combo.
do that? Tell
Yes,
me what
now
buttons
tell
you
me the
pushed."
secrets. What
Together
was
we
the
can do
timing
this.
on
Together
it?
we can do it. I believe in us. But no, Tekken 8, super excited about. But yeah, that does make the timeline then of Banishers being like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's a rough
That is
follow-up.
pretty rough.
So
But there's two
hopefully,
such
like,
different games. Like
Yeah.
one is more of like either just mindless solo play where you're just kind of dicking around having fun. In
Yeah.
my case, maybe not in the hardcore players' cases. The other is more like, okay, I'm gonna sit down for my ghost romance.
Hell
It's
yeah.
very different. So I feel like they played a very different parts of the gamer brain.
Right.
So swapping back and forth probably won't be too difficult for me.
more for the monetary standpoint of buying 2 brand new games right on launch day. That's more of the issue. But so
point.
so maybe wait a little bit on that. But I don't know. I am very excited about it. So who knows? I might just break down and do it anyway because why not? But we'll see. What else is hitting our lists? I guess we're actually going through this pretty quick.
So real quick, because we've already gotten through numbers 1 and 2, I want to talk about at least one Mostly two. Well, actually three. I will mention three honorable mentions, mostly because either they're not that high on my list, or more likely, they are only rumored and or not fully confirmed to be coming out in 2024. The first one, which you and I will both be, I think, really excited for when it eventually does come out, Neva or Neva, the new game from the Grease folks.
Oh,
remember that
yes.
trailer? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's even, like, if the developing team is even thinking that it will come out in 2024. There was no release date when the trailer came out, I don't think, unless I just wasn't paying attention. So I think it feels, to me, it feels unlikely that it will come out in 2024. Right. That feels like an early 2025 game to me. But if it does come out this year, that's going to be a day one immediate purchase for me.
Grease was such a good game.
Grease was such a good game. This game has both a fun-shaped person, which was the whole point of Grease. You're a fun-shaped person in a beautiful watercolor world, and a big wolf. Who doesn't want that? Come on.
Forgot about the wolf.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that trailer again.
Watch the trailer again. So that's one of the ones that I'm really excited for. The other one, again, it's just kind of a vague rumor that it might come out in 2024, but I don't want to let it fall off my radar. South of Midnight.
Looks really cool. I'm very excited.
You know what?
to learn more
I
about that
really
game.
need to go back and rewatch the trailer because I remember thinking, holy crap, this looks like a cool game.
Yeah.
But time has worn the trailer itself away, and my brain has replaced it with Wendell and Wild, the stop motion film that had Jordan Key and Keegan Peele in it that came out on Netflix exclusive, like I think.
I've never heard of this.
I think late last. Actually, it may not have been last October. It may have been the year before last. Do you guys still have Netflix?
Yeah.
If you like stop motion, check out Wendell and Wild. It had a really fun, obviously it's stop motion, so the claymation is really fun in it, but it had a really like extra stylistic choice to it where the characters' models are actually, you can tell much more that they are models pieced together, which is a decision that the studio normally doesn't make. But it was very cool, and it just really reminded me, obviously, of South of Midnight because my brain has transposed the two on top of each other.
Right.
But the point is, South of Midnight looks dope. Can't wait to play it.
It does. I actually just stumbled across the trailer for it again not too long ago, and yeah, it kind of like reignited my like, oh yeah, I want to see what this is about.
No idea what it's about. No idea how it'll play.
It's going to be magical and fantastical, I think.
It's going to be fantastical. And it takes place in the deep south. There's going to be swamps. There's probably going to be gators. There's got to be gators if it takes place in the deep south. So,
well, I think you might be some kind of like monster hunter because in the trailer at the very end, that like huge creature comes up out of the swamp and
big
like
gator.
stares over you. So yeah, there's some kind of like component to that as well. So yeah, I don't know when we'll hear. I'm sure like during the summer stuff.
I think the most we can hope for is an extra trailer this summer. I don't think it's going to come out
because that was just the announcement, and that was
last year.
Yeah, it was like end of last year. I feel like before that happened. So yeah,
maybe last year's Game Awards. And
no,
by last year, we mean
that.
2022, guys, not 2023.
It was after that. I think it might have been in one of the like Summer Games Fest things, maybe. But still, yeah. But that was just for the announcement trailer. Then we'll see, how long. So yeah, it'll probably be a little bit before we get that. It's going to be
a while.
But let's see. Oh, we also had a couple submissions from a couple of our friends of the shows. Ark says that her most anticipated games of 2024 are one, The Haunted Chocolatier, the follow-up to Stardew Valley.
There's no way it's coming out this year.
No way it's coming out this year.
But we can hope.
We're
I'm
hoping,
fingers
crossed, just like we got our fingers crossed for Silk Song.
Pray to the gods and just, Silk Song. A game that's never coming out.
Have you lost interest at this point?
I have, there's no point in my even saying that it's the most anticipated because I have truly zero faith that it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
If it does, it will be a wonderful surprise. I just don't think that's going to happen, to be quite honest.
I'm still shocked because of like how quickly they said we're working on this, and then just still, which I know they're getting it ready, they're getting it to where it needs to be. It just is kind of funny.
It's been featured at like game expos. People have played it. People have gotten their hands on the like playable demo, so it's not like they're on day one of the process.
Right.
It's just taking quite a while.
Well, who knows what that means?
But it's a very small team, so we're trying to give them all the grace, all the patience.
For sure.
All I care about is that it comes out eventually.
Let's see. Then second choice is obviously won't be released in 2024, but maybe some news. Whatever heckin' Zelda they are going to make now that they finished with that map. I really hope that they start going back to their roots of the Zelda formula fans love that works rather than purely open world. I'd be fine with both types existing moving forward, but to only do open world is ironically limiting it other ways. I really like Tears of the Kingdom, but by the end I was exhausted by just how massive it is.
Yes.
Sometimes less is more. Are there more Zelda games on the horizon?
I think so this is just wild conjecture. I think
see.
the only thing, no, I'm saying what I'm about to say is
Oh,
wild
I see.
conjecture.
Okay.
The only thing that I might vaguely expect to happen this year is maybe Nintendo will port more of the DS games to the Switch. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if, for example, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks got Switch ports. Those were both fantastic games. People love to hate on them, really both of them, but especially Phantom Hourglass. I adored those games. And if they do get Switch ports, I will be phenomenally happy with that. But yeah, I think it will be years. Yeah, I mean, 5 years. I don't know how long until we eventually get another actual new Legend of Zelda game, like a mainline installment. That's not a refresh or a remake.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Then the last one pick was I will just want more great FMV or full motion video games. To be honest, there seem to be quite a few, and I haven't seen too many good games with new titles made. I played Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus this year and quite liked it with its story and characterizations. The medium itself has a lot of potential for actors and storytelling. I agree. That would be cool to see. That's an older method of games that hasn't been around for a while. Because like I remember a lot of like point and click adventures back in like the late '90s, early 2000s used that. And it's fun and interesting. Now it looks like early VHS kind of stuff too, and it's kind of a fun nostalgia kick whenever you see it. So I agree, that's kind of fun. Then Brandon W also gave some anticipated games on his list: Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Alone in the Dark. Although I feel like now that one might have gotten pushed to 2025.
I don't know about that because I had Alone in the Dark remake on my list as an honorable mention, and it was slated to come out on March 20th.
Oh, okay.
I do know that it got delayed in 2023 to 2024.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what I was thinking.
I think it's still coming out.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's been through one delay, but as far as I can tell, it's coming out in Q1 of this year. So March 20th, Alone in the Dark remake, starring Zaddy of my life, David Harbour.
Nice.
I'm really only going to play it to be like, David Harbour.
Oh, I watched Violent Night over Christmas.
Wasn't it the best?
So great.
Oh my God.
I loved it. It was a great Christmas movie. Definitely entering into my rewatches for the holiday season.
For sure.
Then he has Sons of the Forest, Hellblade 2, Final Fantasy VII, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was going to be on my list of most anticipated if I had already played and finished the first installment, but I haven't, so I felt like it was a poor faith addition to the list. So I am hype about it. I just can't wait to see where they take the story, because it is a radical departure, or it seems like it's going to be a radical departure from the OG game. So really excited to see what they do with it, and obviously it just looks beautiful.
It does look really good.
A good ass looking game.
Yep.
So.
And then let's see. I have a couple honorable mentions as well before we reveal our top picks for the year. Black Myth Wukong.
Oh yeah.
Looks really. It has my interest peaked because, like I've also said recently on the show, I would like to give another shot at Souls board games. It looks very much like that style of game. I was rewatching the trailer though, and I'm like, this might be too much. There's a lot happening.
There's a lot going on
in that, but the character design and like monster design, the environments all look really great. I mean, the combat itself looks so smooth. And everything, and just like really, but it's so fast paced and there's so much going on that I'm like, that might be a bridge too far for my first real dalliance into a Soulsborne type esque game. But still, it looks really cool. It looks really great. So I'll keep more attention on that one. That one I think is not slated until August, I want to say. So it's got a little bit more time. Yeah, August 20th. Nice. So a little bit more time to decide if I'm going to want that one or not. The other one, and why I didn't pick it and put it on as my number one is because it is just kind of like a given. I would buy this game no matter what. Is they are releasing a remaster of Star Wars Dark Forces. That's one of my top 3 games of all time.
I know it is.
It's the first person shooter game I ever played.
Yeah.
It's a very much like a Doom-esque game. The original. It came out in '96. I want to say on DOS.
So.
It's like they're giving it the fresh, like it's not going to be like current modern day graphic remake, but like it's like they're slapping a fresh coat of paint on it, and doing some other stuff to it. But I fucking love that game. And it's been so long because like it is old enough now that like it's a little more difficult to play and like clunky and just kind of clunky in its controls and everything like that. But so to have it upgraded and the mechanics of it be more upgraded and updated to the current day standard, oh my God.
And just make
excited.
it accessible to today's console players or like PC players, because those types of old games, they're hard to play.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have an emulator or God forbid the original console.
Well, because like playing it on PC like or on computer, stuff like that, you want to guess how you like look up and down? It's not with the mouse.
Gyroscopic keyboard controls where you pick up the keyboard and just kind of tilt it around.
No, it's the page up, page down buttons.
Oh,
so you're
Lord.
moving with the keys, or like WASD, and then you're using the page up, page down button to like look up and look down and stuff like that. It's complicated.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that game is
a
due for a
version
refresh.
of that is going to be so nice. But comes out in February. So that's why it's like stacked with.
Gotcha.
That's another reason why Banishers, I'm kind of like,
Just a quick...
I might have to get Dark Forces first.
oh, come on, Jarrett, for God's sake.
I'm so excited for it. You don't understand. It's going to be so great.
It's one of your favorite games of all time.
To get
totally
to get a refresh for it, I can't wait to play it. Can't wait to platinum it because I'm going to do everything in that game. It's so fun. That's one that I had cheat codes for back in the day.
Game Shark.
Yeah, to like be able to like jump to any surface, unlimited ammo,
good
lots
cheats.
of stuff like that.
Yeah, nice.
So it's very fun. But those are my two honorable mentions. What then is your number one game of the year?
We've got to have the
Or
okay.
what?
Hold up.
Or
I
do you have
had
more
one
honorable
more
mentions?
honorable mention
Go for it,
that
go for
I
it.
actually didn't. So I'll say honorable mention. Let's say that it's tied for one of the slots for 1 through 3 because I am actually pretty excited about it. Princess Peach Showtime.
What is this?
The new
it's the one that's Princess Peach is the main
The
character.
new Peach game. It's coming out March 22nd. So again, another one that's coming out like what feels to me alarmingly soon. But Princess Peach Showtime, mainly I'm excited about it because it's the first time in like at least 10 years, maybe more like 15, that Peach is getting a game where she is the main and only character.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, I'm totally on board for that. Give me more Peach games. I love it when Nintendo kind of breaks further out of their mold, which is still to say it will still be a Nintendo game. It's not going to be that far outside the mold. But just the fact that it's a Princess Peach game already has me interested. It looks really fun with her having different like outfits that I think are tied to roles and abilities, kind of like a Mario Odyssey. There we go. I had to think of the name. Kind of like a Mario Odyssey sort of spiel, but she's trying to save like her theater show. So it looks very silly and just like, yes, I love this. Whatever's happening here, I'm on board. So that's definitely an honorable mention for me.
Very cool. All right.
I think we have the same number one.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and say it?
Well, why don't you go ahead and say
Because I don't think we do.
it? What's your number one?
My number one. Well, okay. My number one falls into the pitfall of it's not. It's they have confirmed it's 2024, but they have not said date.
See, mine does too.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be the same though,
Okay.
because mine's a Star Wars game, and it's Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, never
So
mind. Just kidding.
this one, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, I know I'm playing myself. I know that this game, especially
It's
because
totally
like
not coming out this year,
they
bro.
confirmed 2024 when they gave the gameplay trailer mid last year. They said 2024. I'm like, fantastic, great, let's go. Then they came out because there was like a listing, online listing or something like that, said that the target was late 2024. I'm just going ahead and telling myself it's going to be 2025.
It's 2025.
But the optimist, the cup half full person in me says I'm still getting it in 2024, and I'm excited for it because we had last year 2023 we had Jedi Survivor, fantastic banger of a game, my game of the year last year, platinumed it with over 92 hours in the game. This one I'm very excited for a multitude of different reasons. Maybe not a multitude, but a lot of different reasons. It's the first pure open world Star Wars game. Very cool there. You know, if you watch the gameplay trailer for it, it shows that you're on the ground, you're fighting, you're in like a base, but then you hop on a speeder and you jet off to another town. Then from there, you get in a ship and take off straight into space. And then you have space combat and you fight all that stuff, jump into hyperspace. It's all like one continuous loop.
Unlike Starfield, am I right? Just had to get a little dig at Starfield.
So, you know, I think it's going to have a lot of stuff like that. And I know that we've had games like Jedi Survivor that have big maps and like a lot of areas to explore, but having that truly open world experience where it feels like a continuous, you know, I'm sure there'll be some kind of load mechanic or whatever, but just like where that's not supposed to be there and it's supposed to be this continuous, like you go in, you go up, and you get to go to space. Seamless. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And everything. I just feel like that's going to be really cool to get to experience in a Star Wars setting. Also excited that you're not playing as like, well, as of yet, who knows? By the end of the game, it could be confirmed that your main character, Kay, is force sensitive and will be trained to become a Jedi. But for now, she's not. And she seems to be more of a like rogue and scoundrel, similar to your Han Solos and kind of stuff like that. So it seems like it is going to be more like blaster-based combat and everything, which I think we haven't really had a Star Wars game like that. I hope I'm not forgetting something, but I think the Battlefront 2 campaign, 2017 was the last time we had a game that was that way, because in between those two was when Fallen Order came out and you're obviously a Jedi in those. But so I think going back to that, where it's like, that's not the emphasis of learning like lightsaber abilities and kind of, but this one, you're also going to be navigating the criminal underworld, which kind of makes me feel like this is the quasi spiritual successor to Star Wars 1313, the game that was canceled way back when.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be as dark as Star Wars 1313, because I want to say that one was supposed to have a rated M, and you were like in the underworld of Coruscant, which I was like, oh, sign me up. Which this might still take place in the underworld of Coruscant at times. But, you know, from that gameplay trailer, you see that there are going to be different factions that you can interact with, and you can, like, based on your actions, raise or lower your reputation with them. Looks to be some really good combat. Space combat as well. It just looks, I don't know. It looks like it's got a good recipe for success. It also is a new developer. Ubisoft is making it, which I know raises some alarms for some people, but not necessarily for myself. And
is it Ubisoft Montreal? I feel like they consistently make pretty good games.
I feel like it might be. I'm not 100% on that.
French Canadians, you can do it.
But still, I'm excited to see what Ubisoft does with it, because, you know, up until now, it's been all EA. Making it, and I think we just need a little breath of fresh air in there. Although not saying that the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor weren't fantastic games, because they were. But so I'm just interested to see what a new developer can do with it. Yeah. So I think for all of those reasons, Star Wars Outlaws is my most anticipated game of the year. I mean, duh, you couldn't guess because it's Star Wars, but I know that's basic. I tried to think of other things that would make
Hashtag
it, but
basic.
I couldn't. It's still too exciting to me. So Star Wars Outlaws is my number one pick of most anticipated game for 2024.
Good choice. Very solid choice. Well, my number one, I felt like we really missed the connection here, because how could it not be on your list? It's Hellblade 2.
Okay.
It's Senua's
Great
Saga.
pick.
Yeah.
Fantastic pick. Why is it your pick? I have thoughts, but like, I want to know why for you first.
Truly, I have no thoughts, head empty. I just know that first game good, second game can only be also good.
Well,
and that's as far as the thought train go.
Everything they've shown of it so far does it's going to be fantastic. Like visual quality just in and of itself, like it looks damn pretty, and it's like this is what the game itself is going to look like, kind of stuff.
I am still very unclear on what the main goal of the story, or what the primary narrative is, but honestly I prefer it that way. Like I prefer to not really know what's going to be going on when I get into the game, because I feel like I knew so little about Senua's Sacrifice before we played it. And then you got in there and you're like, oh my god, this game is like literally mind-blowing for more reasons than one. And I feel like this is going to be one of those cases where the less I know about it going in, the more of a good time I'm going to have.
I agree. But that is also a little bit of my worry.
A little worrying, yeah.
Because of that, and why it's not on my list. I thought about it, and I did want to put it on here. It is one of my 13 games that I'm looking forward to this year. But I was like, it's kind of starting to hit the Silk Song for me. We've been hearing about it for so long. And we have gotten 2 looks at the game, most recently at the Game Awards last year. So about a month ago. We have had those looks at it, but they're still, like, to your point, they're not really telling you much. Other than just showcasing what the game is going to look like, which Cool. That's great. That's fantastic. But at this point, I am still a little worried that like March, they're going to be like, you know what? Jokes.
Sorry.
2025. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just a little bit, and I know I just said that there's a case for that with Star Wars Outlaws, and that could very well happen due to delays and stuff like that. I just feel like it's more likely with Hellblade. Like, I felt like if it was actually going to come out in 2024, they would have told us the date at the Game Awards.
Yes. And I feel like this is a good opportunity to remind the general public, because I feel like the hype around Senua's Saga is really increasing, because they really have been doing a lot of marketing. They had the whole live music show at the Game Awards. That
Which
was
is so cool.
Yeah, very cool stuff. But just a reminder, technically, Senua's Saga is not an air quotes AAA game.
Right.
Which is just to say that this isn't a 100+ person strong studio creating this game. The studio, as I understand it, at least was smaller. I'm not sure how much they've grown since then, but it's
They
not
did get
like
acquired by Microsoft. So I know that probably gives them a little bit more punch, but like I don't know if that means, but I don't know, did Microsoft come in and be like, here's 30 more staffers?
Yeah,
Or
so that's what we don't really know. So like, is it still sort of operating on that more indie scale, or is it operating a little bit closer to that AAA, again, big quotes there, sliding scale of how much manpower do they have behind it? And that being said, manpower is not the marker of a good game.
Right.
Many games have come out and sucked ass that were made by 500+ people.
Rage 2.
Yeah, Rage. Our go-to fuck you game. But the point is that in either case, there can be things that go wrong with the process. There can be things that go really right with the process. So just keeping expectations nice and level.
It's just more the fact that like they haven't been saying like, oh, we don't know yet because it's being delayed. It's just like there just hasn't been anything really other than just the 2 drops of being like, here's the trailer 1, where you're like, fuck yeah, that looks cool. Then trailer 2, but then you're like, okay, no release date, that's fine. Then it was like a couple years, I want to say, in between the two. And then we get another look and it's still just like, here's the year. I don't know. That to me doesn't fill me with a ton of confidence that it's actually going to come out.
When was Senua's Saga announced?
Let's find out.
Google. 2020, December 2020.
So 3 years
So it's
from
been
its announcement.
3 years from its announcement title.
Okay, so that's still like...
Ooh, false. The first trailer was December 2022. It was announced in 2019.
Wait, the first trailer was in 2022.
Alongside Xbox Series X console reveal, Xbox showed a new trailer for Hellblade 2 in December 2020.
Oh, 2020. Okay.
Yeah, December 2020.
Too many
but
twos.
People have known about it since 2019.
Okay.
So it has been
So there was a
while.
3-year gap in between trailers. And there's still... And it's
Pandemic.
Still... True.
Pandemic.
That's true too. That's true too. I will give it that. So I don't know. I don't know why I have such like hesitation about it, because I want to play the game so bad. Like it does look great, but they're just a little bit... I felt the uneasiness of, no, this is going into 2025 a little bit more than even I did for Outlaws.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of like, I'll save it.
Yeah.
But no, super excited for
And
it.
I mean,
It's going to be so good.
In today's video game industry environment, keeping a guarded heart about any game that you're hyped for is just a blanket good idea. Just don't get your hopes. I know it's like feels like a really cynical thing to say, but like try not to get your hopes up too high, because any game can be a massive overpromise and a huge swing and a miss. No one is safe. It can happen to anybody, except for Haunted Chocolatier, which is definitely going to slap when it eventually comes out. In 2026, probably.
Right? I mean, but God bless him. He's doing his best.
Yeah, he's
One
doing
man.
his absolute best, but it's like, bro, I really need you to abandon Stardew Valley. I understand that game makes you billions of dollars, but I desperately need you to switch gears and head on over to Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, that caps out our lists for the most anticipated games of 2024.
So even though we've both named many games in this short time, I will still say that I feel like this feels like a much lighter year than 2023 did. 2023 was fucking stacked.
Well, and because if you even look at the sites that are like listing confirmed dates, like the dates only go to like August.
Yeah, like
and there's like one game. Like I want to say like the one game in August is Black Myth.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's a lot of stuff earlier, but late year has yet to be established yet.
It's very light
so
looking.
It's very interesting to see what will actually wind up coming out. And stuff
well,
like that.
obviously, Foam Stars
Oh
is
my god, I forgot about that game.
point in 2024. I think it has maybe it doesn't have a confirmed release date, but not gonna
I think
lie,
it's early year. I think it's earlier.
I'm
in the
very
year.
vaguely interested just to see if it's
You're
any
gonna
good.
get it, and you're gonna be like, Splatoon fucking sucks.
The Foam Stars rules. We'll see.
You'll be in the Discord preaching the good word of Foam Stars. But until then, everybody, if you have most anticipated games of 2024, let us know. I know we shared a couple, but if you have a little bit more, we can share those as well. Post them over in the Discord, comment below wherever you're listening to or watching the show. Send us an email, teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Hey, anyway is great, and we would love to get to hear from you. But with that, that wraps up this episode of Team Chat Podcast, the first of the new year. Hope everyone's new year has been going swimmingly so far. I forgot to do heart
I know
emojis.
we forgot to do it, so
God.
we're gonna do it in the
We're gonna
outro
do it right now.
We cannot start off the year without a heart
forgetting it.
emoji.
Oh my god, heart emojis to all of our
Smooches,
listeners, viewers,
XOXO.
patrons alike. I can't believe I forgot all that at the
I mean,
beginning.
it's usually my job to remember, and then I pressure
And,
you
like,
by bringing it in
pre-start it?
slow.
Yeah, I know, so I can, like, wrap
that
it
was
up.
my bad.
Oh man, but hope you all are having a great year so far. We look forward to continuing with a new episode next week. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Adios.